Hello and welcome back. I've got some exciting news. We're starting a new series today. Some time ago, I put out a poll asking what you, the viewers, wanted to see as my next series. And I had a couple different options. And one of them was an interior restore. And so that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be changing out the entire interior of the Miata and doing a bit of a Restomod. So for those of you who are not familiar with Restomod, that term, basically what we're talking about is a restoration for the most part. It takes the spirit of the car that you started with, and you might apply some tasteful modifications to it along the way. Maybe update some things, do something that is maybe slightly more modern in terms of functionality or in terms of, it's better, because it's newer, but you're not really changing the car that much. And so it's important to keep the spirit the same. So that's what we're going to be doing. Let's take a look at what all the changes are in store. So my car is a 1994, and it's the first year of the 1.8 liter, which makes it good, but it also is the first year of the passenger side airbag, which doesn't work. It has never worked in this car, and I took out a while ago for weight savings, but it leaves a kind of ugly look to the whole dash. And so one thing that's somewhat popular, this has been done before, is doing a dash swap. And so what you can do is take a 1.6 liter dash, also known as the NA6 versus the NA8, which is what I have, and swapping it into either way. Actually, some people put the NA8 dash because they like it better into the NA6s, or vice versa, and that's what we're going to be doing today. I have picked up a bunch of stuff from the junkyard, and so as you may have noticed, my car is a black and tan, and so it has the tan carpeting, tan seats originally, all that kind of stuff. And it's getting a little aged, so I was looking at changing the carpet. And in changing the carpet, you have the option to do kind of whatever colors you want. And one of the things with the original NA6 dashes like we see here is that originally this crash bar area is on the NA6 version is all tan. I never liked the look of that. I like the full black dash much better. And if you're going to be going with the full black dash, you might as well get the interior trim pieces to match. And so that's what I did. I got, these are the B-pillars. These are the little kick panels on the side, down at your feet, in the floor well. Got it for this side, that side. Also got the little steering wheel surround. So in doing the dash swap, the dash itself is completely bolt-in to any of the years of cars for an NA. And so you can take this entire dash, bolt it into an NA8, and it'll be fine. However, some things do go along with the dash. So that includes the glove box, includes the little kick panel, it includes the cluster hood, and it also includes the tombstone right here. And so these are things that you want to try to pick up when you're trying to get a dash, if you're going to do a dash swap like this. You can kind of make the NA8 kick panel work, but it doesn't fit quite right. You notice these little streaks in there, indents. That's what the NA6 kick plate looks like that goes under the steering column. This surround should be the same on either car, but basically I got all this as one lump price, and they just sort of threw that in, so it was a really good deal. What's awesome about this dash, despite the stupid decal that's on there obviously, is that it has no cracks anywhere. It's in perfect condition. It's a very dirty condition. I actually dusted it off somewhat. It looked horrible when I picked it up, but it has no cracks anywhere. It does have a little scratch right here but I think this will kind of clean up as soon as I clean out what's in the dirt that's embedded in there. It'll go back to black, and I think it will look a lot better. And we'll see what we can do with some scratch removal as well. But although this is a great find, there are some things I didn't want to skip on, and those things were the hood and the tombstone. So let's take a look at what's in the box. Alright, so let's see what's in this box. It's like Christmas. Brand new gauge hood. Beautiful. With the clips. Perfect. So these clips, especially on the original NA6 hoods, would break off instantly, and so they're pretty problematic. So getting a new one not only makes it look really awesome, but also it will make it so that we can actually take on and off the hood without too much difficulty for years to come. Let's take a look at box number 2. Not too much of a surprise. Brand new tombstone. So nice. Is everything ready to go? And this will just bolt right into place. Now I didn't get the vents for they were already gone when I got to the junkyard for this, but I'll just be reusing my vents from the existing car. Put that back for safekeeping. All right, next up we have some new carpeting. Went inside for this because this stuff is supposed to lay out for a while, so that it can be in the right position, because you'll notice that it has the humps and everything that the normal car does. And so this has got a molded backing. It actually comes with some juke stuff, which I kind of hate because it absorbs water really well, which is not something you really want in your carpeting material. So I think I'll be removing that, and I'll show you the next piece that I'm going to be removing it with in just a moment. But anyway, this is piece from stockinteriors.com. It comes from Custom Carpets Incorporated. They make all the carpets for various things, and this is a 80-20 loop style, which matches the original carpeting. So you can see it's pretty rich. I like it. It's a little bit lighter on camera, I think, than it is in real life. It's kind of a chocolate brown, so I think it's going to be a nice look for the interior along with the new seats. It comes with this molded as well for the back parcel shelf and the rear bulkhead. And I also picked up some additional molding. This is plastic molding. It looks very OEM, and this will go around any kind of holes that may be exposed, because I like to do the center console delete mod, which I already have, but I'll be redoing it. And also right around here, it's not bound up, so because normally this is hidden, so they stopped using the binding material at that point. So I'm gonna put something around that to make it look nice, and then we shall see. All right, so as I mentioned, we're doing our own juke replacement. Jute with a T. And so this is what I'm going to be using. So this is some reflective padding with some closed cell foam, and this is what it's about 40 square feet. This is what's going to go down over the cabin and the transmission tunnel, and especially against the firewall to block heat. Now, there's a lot of different options you can use for this. I'm going to leave links to all this stuff, but This is what I'm going to try out. In some of the hotter areas, like right next to your feet or, you know, where the exhaust is and stuff like that, you could even potentially use some of this. So this is very thin material. It looks like tinfoil. It's not. It's a roofing material. And this can go down. It reflects radiant heat like crazy. It's amazing. So I put this up in the rafters in my garage here, and it's brought down the temperatures quite substantially in here. This is with no insulation whatsoever. It just reflects the heat back from the sun that comes in, radiates down through the roof. So it's pretty good stuff. So it's so thin and light that can't hurt to put an extra layer on here. That's basically what this silver does, but that one is a little bit thicker in terms of the reflective material, so it may work just a little bit better. And finally, we got a few odds and ends. These are used, and I got them on eBay for a good price, but they're in very good condition. And I had a problem, like on one side, the cup broke off, and also the handle part was breaking off. I think around here on this side, it broke off on one side of the car. And then on the other side, it's just kind of scratched and not quite as good looking. So I ended up getting a pair, even though this one, the one on the driver's side, was completely functional. This pair ended up looking better than what I had on the car originally. So we're gonna change out this. We're definitely gonna do something with the shift boot. Probably not this. This is not going to work, but something along this style. I love the rubber boot style. It reminds me of like the Shelby Cobra days and other types of roadsters from the 60s, and I want to do that again in this car. So we'll see what we can arrange to work, but we're also going to do some sort of new console piece so that this all flows together in a nice way. That will probably be like a shorty console, something like that. So we'll see how that goes, but that's definitely happening as well. That is going to do it for the intro, guys. I have been assembling parts for quite some time, so you may be asking what's first on the agenda. Well, the first thing is maybe what you caught a hint of here. Let's see, these seats. Aren't they lovely? This is one of the first parts that I got, and I've already filmed the install process and how to create brackets, and a lot of this stuff is actually going to be useful if you're putting any kind of seat. If you don't like these style seats, you're going to go through a similar process to put in any sort of seat into a car. You know, unless you've got some kind of plug and play thing with brackets already made for you, which is rare, then you're going to be doing some fabrication. And what I've got here for these seats is very, very simple, but you'll see how to make all your measurements, what you need to do, and that will be coming up in the next one. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you next time.